Knitworthy, sharing our love of the fiber arts from the heart of the Ozarks.
Okay, where am I looking here?
Camera to the left?
Yeah. I think that's it. You wanna look at it? Make sure I'm not looking off into the distance. Nope, there it is. We're good. 3, 2, 1. Hello, and welcome to the Knitworthy podcast. This is episode number 30. And today is Friday, March 27th, 2015, and welcome! We're so glad you're here, aren't we? We are. My name is Brianne, also known as Being Brianne, and this is my gorgeous mother.
Hello, my name is Linda. I like to be called Mama Linda, so if you feel like it, go for it. And I'm known as Stony Brook on social media.
That's right.
Did you notice anything different about today?
What could they have possibly noticed, Mama Linda?
We are actually in a new location.
And
I think it's much clearer. It's working. What do you think?
we are trying out using my phone
We are.
as a camera instead of using my MacBook Pro. So who knows how this will go? We're
have no
not
idea.
entirely sure.
She was wondering if notifications are going to pop up for you guys. If so, ignore the fact that she's got a dental appointment later. And also, this is things you don't need to know.
Yeah.
But just so you don't wonder, what are we looking at? Since we are using the side of the camera that has no monitor,
Right.
we are actually connected with our flat screen TV to see if what we show you will show up for you. It's hard to podcast without having any feedback, right?
Right, exactly.
So if we look like we're looking into the distance like a bad high school photo, it is.
We're not.
It's not that.
And
We're
see,
really.
I'm looking at the TV right now, just like this.
Yeah, we're trying to make sure that you can actually see what we're going to show you.
Yes.
And so we had tested this idea out because we didn't have our resources together to purchase a camera for podcasting, right?
Mhm.
But we finally figured out that there was a way to use Brianne's phone,
Yes.
which we're very excited about.
And hopefully it works.
And our preliminary tests show the picture's much clearer.
Yes.
But in order to do this, we had to be back downstairs. So you never know where you're going to find us. We're here now.
We're like a traveling podcast, but that's okay, right?
It's like, okay, we need a name like the Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants, but we're the Sisterhood of the Traveling Podcast.
Yeah,
That's it.
Something like that. Unless somebody already has that name as trademarked, then we're not using that.
That's exactly it. We won't go there.
No.
So are you wearing knitting today?
I'm wearing knitting on my feet. Does that count?
It does count.
Yes,
Are you
I
going to
have-
show us?
I have some socks. No, I don't know that I can get
wonder
my
if I
feet
can.
up there.
A foot?
Oh, hey, yeah,
I'm
you
wearing
can.
knitting on my foot.
I've got a dog behind me.
Hers is prettier. You're just seeing the bottom of yours,
Yeah.
though. She actually, is that monkey socks?
No, these are the artichoke socks.
Oh, artichoke. They're
Mhm.
lovely. You
Yes.
could just take them off.
I could, but that's okay.
You do know I promised never to put my foot up in the camera again, and here I do it again.
That's okay.
my resolutions are so quickly ignored.
Oh, man.
But I am wearing a striped sock that I made, I think, last summer, if I'm remembering right, and it's Purple Goddess yarn.
Mm-hmm.
She had an Etsy shop. I'm assuming she still does. She was trying to do like one of those starter projects where you
Like a Kickstarter?
a Kickstarter, yeah. And I had ordered this just because I loved the color, and now I'm like all about the blue.
There you go.
I've decided as my hair goes gray that I'm loving blue, so I'm also wearing blue nails. Can you see today? Oops, let's try this way. They look kind of black there, but it's a nice navy blue.
Yeah.
No one cares.
That's okay. I care.
Okay,
Yeah.
but anyway, it's fun for me.
It is
right?
fun. Yes. And that's what counts.
Yes, I'm also wearing artsy bracelet, which also doesn't show up great on camera as I can see, but I love the mother of pearl. It's like a vintage belt. Seriously, who could wear that as a belt?
It's
would
so
have to be,
tiny.
it'd be like Barbie.
Right, and it'd be a very lovely fashion statement on Barbie.
Would be lovely for
It'd be
her.
big.
But I love it.
Yeah.
And that is one of the things, though, we have a little bit of, you know, lighting is a really delicate issue, isn't it?
It is. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad.
Too much and you white out everything, and so objects that are already white just kind of become this glowing thing.
Right.
But they don't care about that. They're here for knitting.
You are here for knitting, so let's get you some knitting, shall we? Mom, oh, you know what we need to do?
What?
Next comes our gooseberry segment.
I know.
Gooseberries, that's our weekly tasty chit chat. I can never say that right. I have
Tisty? Did you go there?
Tisty. Yeah.
Oh!
Oh, there you
Beezy
go.
Mama. I wonder if you guys can see that Beezy Mama liked your photo, Bria.
I bet they can.
Which is the sampler girl.
Yes, thank you for liking my photo.
If it does show, that would be really fun to actually, it's like on the news when they have the ticker tapes at the bottom that
Yes.
show what's happening.
Oh, goodness.
And it's like people can participate in our podcasting if they happen to comment on an Instagram photo while we're podcasting.
That's right. It's like live podcasting, but different.
Oh, yeah. We might just say we love it.
sakes.
This will be really fun to see if that shows then.
Oh, goodness. Luckily, I don't have embarrassing things on my phone.
Are you sure?
I'm sure.
Okay.
Yes. So, today we are joined by Knits by Jamie.
We are,
our
finally.
guest. Yes. Because last week you were under the weather.
I was, and thank you for giving me a break. And Brianne doesn't need me, but I just barge my way right in here anyway.
She thinks that I don't need her, but y'all, come on now. If we didn't have Mama Linda, it'd be sad.
Well, thank you for saying that, but you know what I would like to do, if you don't mind, because I think Knits by Jamie deserves our full attention.
Yes.
But I did have some gooseberries this week,
Okay.
and I'm having gooseberries right now.
What?
And I just don't want to be trying to not forget something, and then I'm not as focused on Jamie.
Okay. We're going to zoom in on Jamie in just a minute.
Great.
So, Mama Linda,
Yes.
what are your gooseberries?
I have gooseberries because my sister Holly is here.
Yes.
She lives in California. I don't get to see her very often. And she is the sister I prayed for. I was probably, I don't know, I was Ailish's age, 7, when I started praying for a sister.
Uh-huh.
There were 2 boys, and I was the only girl, and I wanted a sister so bad, and I
Yeah.
prayed every night, Lord, give me a sister. And at the age of 10, my sister Holly was born. The surprise baby.
Yes.
But not surprising in the sense that she wasn't wanted, but we had no idea she was coming. She was the unexpected blessing in the family. And she is a delight. I can't imagine our family without her.
Yeah. Peepa, that's your mom.
Yeah.
That's what we call her, Peepa. She loves to tell me the stories about how wherever Holly goes, everybody thinks that they are her best friend because that's
Yeah.
how Holly makes you feel. And she went to church with Holly one time, and everyone, no matter where you went, you heard Holly, 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 because everybody wants Holly's attention, and everybody
Yeah.
wants Holly to say hi to them,
And that's not just a proud mama speaking. It's really true.
It
She's
really
wonderful.
is.
And she was like, when I was in high school, she was just a young thing. And when we were doing Sound of Music, she played Gretel. Is that the name of the little girl on the Sound of Music? I played Louisa. And so it was so fun. I got to do plays with her. Mom made us dresses alike. And being 10 years difference between us, I did not mind one bit. I was a teenager wearing dresses just like my sister because I loved her that much. We had twin beds in the room. We slept in the same twin bed.
That's pretty awesome.
That was how much love flowed there.
Yeah.
She was so adorable when you would say, Holly, would you mind getting the ketchup for dinner? And if you're not from America, ketchup is a sweet tomato-based sauce that we use on everything. And if you have been to McDonald's, you've had ketchup. So
Yes.
she would say, I'd be happy to. Really? What child says that?
Holly does.
I had no idea how special that was until
Yeah.
until I had kids of my own.
Right.
And you were
Brienne, can you
sweet.
get the ketchup? No thanks.
No, she would do it, but she wouldn't say, I'd be happy to. You were awfully sweet, but she just took it to a whole new level.
Yeah.
So I am getting to enjoy a little bit of time. We went on a walk yesterday.
How fun.
At the end, I'm going to share some pictures of, we had a big rain the night before.
Yes.
And so our stream was just bustling. And so we took a walk, and I hadn't even ever been there for as long as we've been here.
Really?
Which is probably, how many years now?
It's 10 years this year.
10 years. And I've never been on some of these trails. And so I'm trying to get on a few with her while she's here because she's a walker.
She is.
And so that was very fun. We went to Spring Creek Tea Room, and they are in Ozark, Missouri. If you're ever in the area, stop by, but get there about 11 o'clock for lunch because it is packed.
Yeah.
And their specialty is cake. I did not get a picture of our cake.
That's sad. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm sorry too.
I'm sorry for you too because they have beautiful
shared it.
cakes and they look delicious.
If I can find a picture of a cake I've had before there, I'll post it. I'll put it at the end so you can see our walk and see my sister, who's beautiful.
Yes.
And we went to Sycamore Road Church, the old log cabin. If you've been in previous episodes, seen it, it's a lovely old log church, and we went there too. And my sister-in-law Ruth Ann was with us from Sugar Pie Farmhouse.
Yeah.
I love her.
Yes.
She's a blessing. I've known her since I was 16, and we're like BFFs.
Yeah.
So she found a birthday present for me while we were out.
Oh, can we even get this whole thing in there?
I don't know, but I'm going to try. Can you tell if it's in?
Here we go. There. Now it's in.
Is that not adorable?
Look at that picture.
So cute. Little playing bears.
They're so happy.
Love it. And I actually have a carved bear on Instagram. I think his Bay Area Knitter was posting yesterday pictures of a tree house in California that's actually was in the middle of a tree, one of those huge redwoods, you know.
Yeah.
And in front was a carved bear, and she remembered it from when she was a kid. And so I have decided, mine's been in the garage because it is a little worse for wear because it's been around as long as I have.
Right.
And so I decided that even though the base is kind of getting unstable, I'm going to put it in a galvanized bucket, like the kind you would feed an animal in. And I'll stabilize it. I don't know if pea gravel, or you guys might have ideas. John said cement. I'm not sure I want to cement it.
That's a little permanent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking maybe a little bit of pea gravel would be enough to stabilize it.
Sure.
And I'm going to put it in the house. It can't be outdoors anymore because it'll just fall apart.
It will.
But it's totally going to freak the kids out probably. But
as long as you don't start telling stories about it, I think it'll be okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
But that was what you used to see at the house we lived in. We lived in the mountains in California, Idlewild, California. Very charming community, and that's where I spent kindergarten through 6th grade. And the little street, the cul-de-sac on our property that we would pulled into. Dad named everything.
Yes.
And he had little signs up, and he named that cul-de-sac Linda Circle.
Yes.
And I still have the sign.
You do?
I need to really hang it or something.
Somewhere.
I also have the Christmas trees. We always had live Christmas trees. And the Christmas trees that were for crucial years, like the year John and I got married, we saved the little signs that he made for those, the wood signs. There was a wood artist in town, and he would make signage for Dad. And we also have the sign that was on the old outhouse that Dad made. Dad, as in not Brianne's dad, but my dad, Lauren. And he had an outhouse. He called it John's John.
Yeah.
For my husband.
Which is very appropriate because we also, Holly's husband's name is John.
It is.
Yes.
Yeah, and, you know, well, I won't go into that, but it was very fun.
Does it really need explanation, though?
It needs no explanation. But that's the fun we've been having, so stay tuned at the end. I'll just pop in. I'm not going to do a fancy presentation because I want to have time to get together with my sister Holly while she's here.
That's right.
But I just wanted to be able to share that with you. Oh my goodness, it means so much to me to be able to see her. When you only see someone a couple times a year,
yeah,
you gotta treasure it.
Absolutely. How neat.
Yes, and now, this is so fun. And I am ready to see Knits by Jamie. Do you know I have not looked?
I have not looked either. And can I tell you how hard that has been?
It's been very hard because I have so wanted to press the link. She looks adorable.
Yeah.
And I really have been so looking forward to this. So let's get ready. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Come on, Jamie. Come on over to the house. Let's meet you.
All right.
Come on in.
Hello, everybody. I'm Jamie from Dallas, Texas. I've been knitting for about a year now, and I haven't stopped since. I love knitting. I've recently learned to loom knit because of my carpal tunnel, so I'm working on a scarf right now. I've also made headbands. I'll model it. Headbands. And I have an Etsy store where I sell these ear warmers. If you want to check it out, I believe my store is called Nitty Gritty Jamie. That's right, Jaime. And I also make doll sweaters. I haven't put any up for sale yet, but once I get started, once I make a few more, I will sell some of these. I've got carpal tunnel now, so I'm trying to take it easy on my wrists, but yeah, the question was, what's my favorite yarn to knit with, or what do I like knitting with most? Well, I haven't really experienced any of the, yarn shop brands yet. I did use one from my local yarn shop, but it had alpaca in it, and I'm not too crazy about it. I've got an infinity scarf I made with it, but it was kind of hard knitting with all the hairs or whatever on it. I've made this hat recently. It was my very first hat and first time knitting in the round, which I'm really proud of. I love it. That was a bulky yarn. I can't remember the brand of that, but I really like the I Love This Yarn brand from Hobby Lobby. It's my favorite yarn to knit with. And I also knit with the sugars and cream when I make dish rags. My mom loves washing dishes with them. And I even made one to use in the bathtub, and I love it. I think it's really soft washing your face with it and everything. So, yeah, I think that's about it. So, I'll talk to y'all later. Bye! Have a good day.
Brian had to help me because I'm crocheting.
You get the official Knitworthy needle clap. Jamie.
Wow.
Okay, first of all, you're adorable, and I love your sparkly bow shirt.
Isn't it cute?
That's so cute.
Yeah, she was really fun. I really enjoyed her big J on the wall. Did you see that?
I did, and that was sparkly too.
That was sparkly.
I think, Jamie, are you a sparkle girl?
A sparkle girl, she is.
I think she is. Mm-hmm.
Okay, and knitting for a year, she's really taken it on with a passion.
Yeah.
She's our kind of gal.
That's right.
Don't do something wimpy. Do it big.
No.
Give yourself carpal tunnel the first time, the first year of experience. Come on now.
That's right. I didn't accomplish that until my, 9th year of knitting.
She's an overachiever.
You really are. Way to go, Jamie.
Way to go, Jamie. And that is Knits by Jamie on Ravelry.
Yes.
I love, her picture is cute on Ravelry, but it's so much more informative to see the actual video footage.
Yes.
You get a feel for what she's like, and she is adorable.
Yeah.
And her Nitty Gritty Jamie. Nitty Gritty Jamie. I'll actually post the real name when I do the editing on the podcast.
And we'll put a link to it in the show notes. So you can go see.
Will. I loved the headband, I love the headband. I love the ear warmers.
Yes.
Definitely.
Oh, and the doll sweater?
Yeah.
That was impressive.
It reminded me a little bit of the Baby Surprise, the Elizabeth Zimmerman one. Have you ever done that one?
I haven't. Have you?
No.
No.
I keep saying I'm going to, though.
I know. It's on my list.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have never read Elizabeth Zimmerman. Isn't that sad?
What?
Have you?
Yeah. I have one of her books. It's in storage.
Well, when you get out of storage, let me know. It's on one of my wish lists for Amazon that I have that and several other things that are just I need to educate myself more.
Yeah.
But I also loved her scarf that she was doing. That was very good. And actually, I wanted to show. Guess what I've been working on this week and did not even know she was going to be talking about it.
What?
Dishcloths.
Oh, that's true.
Right?
How perfect, Jamie.
I know. Good. And I use the same cotton that she does. The now I'm going to forget the name of the cotton.
Sugar and cream.
Sugar and cream. My favorite actually was prior to their company change, because this is actually a cream color, and I've been actually working on a pattern this week that I plan on publishing, but I have a few. This time I want to do test knitting, not because a dishcloth is difficult, but I want to catch the stupid errors that I missed last time. I did eventually, they got corrected.
Right.
But I just want to make sure that I don't put out a pattern that requires someone to edit for me, when they're knitting it.
Right.
But, so if any of you are interested in just doing a basic crochet dishcloth, my goal was to create a crocheted version of the Grandma's favorite dishcloth, which is a knitted cloth that is worked on the diagonal. And so I wanted a crocheted version that would be just as easy to knit up and or crochet up and get a perfect square, but I wanted to add a border to it, because sometimes the borders of the crochet dishcloths are not as favorite for me. I wanted to have just something a little special, and I'm, of course, because I can't leave well enough alone, I'm coming up with the variations of the dishcloth.
Yes.
And so the pattern will be published with all sorts of embellishment ideas, but this is one I've done before, a puff flower that goes in the corner that just makes it fun. When I have the pattern ready, we'll go into it more, but it's fun. I think it just makes it a fun way to give a gift, because I made it large enough it could fold.
Yeah. I do like them larger.
Do you?
I do.
Okay, because there was always the question when you do a dishcloth, do you do it just large enough for your hand, and then it has to lay flat in the drawer?
Yes.
Or do you do it large enough so that it can be folded into the drawer, but it is larger than your hand? Now you can still fold it if you're going to do a really good wipe down of a counter or something. You can still use the unembellished side, and you get a nice surface there.
I just don't care for the ones where I feel like I have to use my fingertips to clean. Here you go.
Not as fun.
There you go.
And this is one of the other variations I did.
Oh, that's cute too.
Where it has a banding. And this particular red, the new reds that they do with the new company are not the deep rich reds. I love a French red. That really, it's rich, it's deep, but it's still quite red. I don't know any other French words.
Bon. That's good.
French fries.
Yeah.
French toast. And on this one, I added a variation where I have a little loop. And I don't really know if anybody hangs their dishcloths. I actually have a little, my paper towel holder has a place behind it that I can hang my dishcloths. You know that because you've been there.
I do. I've seen it once or twice a day.
But I thought, I wonder if people hang them, so I was going to do a variation like that. So when I publish the pattern, this will be another free pattern. I'm going to do variations for if you want to give them as gifts.
Yeah.
But I would like to find some colors I like better than this creamy, because I love the oatmeal ecru color they used to do. It looked very natural. This looks like a dyed cream, and this is more of a vibrant red. And I just don't think that they wash as nicely.
Oh.
I also want to do some variations with variegateds.
Yeah.
But I do love the feel of the sugar and cream cotton, and there certainly are plenty of choices for colors and things within that line. But I've also noticed on Knit Picks, they have been making washcloths out of many other fibers.
They have.
And what do you think about that?
I haven't tried any washcloths that have other linen or content other than linen.
Yes.
Now linen, that's a really fun one to use like as a hand towel or like a face towel. Just because it has such a nice texture to it.
It does. Can I confess something horrible to you?
What?
Because you made me a lovely linen towel.
I did.
And it accidentally got in the laundry.
Yeah.
And became a lovely linen washcloth.
Yeah. That's okay.
After all that work, it was still wonderful. It still is wonderful.
Yeah.
But I just felt so horrible because it was a wonderful hand towel, but it did not like the dryer.
What? That's crazy.
Yes. Now I have not tried. I love this yarn. I love
this yarn.
Names today. I've got a little bit of a headache, so I'm not thinking names. But have you used that one?
No, I have not.
Okay.
I haven't really used Hobby Lobby yarn very much, just because I got spoiled really early on in my knitting career.
You have a career in knitting.
Apparently I do now. in my knitting experience, because when I first started knitting, there was a yarn shop that was like 10 minutes from my house. And so I got used to using, you know, the natural fibers and, you know, using, I think my first yarn purchase at a yarn store was Noro. I know.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Which I don't think it's your favorite now.
No, it's not. But, you know, your tastes change.
They do.
As you go on and as you learn what you love to knit with, or, you know, just with anything.
I agree.
You know, you start off liking some things and then you decide that you don't. Now, I definitely feel that, you know, acrylic and, you know, nylon and all those man-made fibers have a place in the knitting community for sure.
Yeah, we're not yarn snobs.
No.
And so I'm not against using acrylic at all. I've used it for many things. And I really had planned, because I've heard some good things about I Love This Yarn from Hobby Lobby, and we do have a Hobby Lobby.
We do in Springfield.
If you're from a different area where you don't have Hobby Lobbies, it's a big box craft / decorating / hobby,
like emporium.
Yes, and it's huge. And so they do have a yarn aisle, and how extensive it is now, I don't know. I know at one time it was like 4 ginormous aisles or more.
Yeah, I haven't been there in several years, so I don't know what it looks like now.
Right, it might have changed some, but I know that they do offer online ordering. And
always
so
a bonus.
If you want to try. It's always good to have an endorsement, though, because when you're making hats for children, let's say, you want something washable.
Yes.
When you're doing things for, like, even baby items, or it's nice to use a washable fiber. And let's make knitting affordable for everybody, why don't we?
Right.
Because I think the more knitting that gets out there, the better for all of us. We want everyone to become as obsessed as we are.
I really do. That's my aim in life.
Yeah, so
not the only one, but one of them.
I think we should try the next time we get to Springfield. Let's make an effort to try and get some of the I Love This yarn and try it out.
Okay.
The closest thing I've tried to it, and you think about the closest thing you've tried to an I Love This yarn, I would say is probably the name's going to do it again. The red heart that I made your blanket out of for Christmas a few years ago.
Yes.
The Simply Soft, maybe, or
I think that's Karen.
Red Heart Soft something.
It was soft.
It is soft. Now, the only thing we've noticed with it over time, it's a little bit pilly, isn't it?
It is. But, you know, my kids love the heck out of that thing, and they use it pretty hard. And so, you know, I'm always having to tell them, because it's a crocheted blanket, you know, please be careful with the blanket. Please don't stick your fingers through and pull, you know, because, like, Ailish wants to, like, wrap herself up tight like a burrito in it, like as tight as she can, so she'll just put her fingers through it and like this, and I'm like, oh, please be gentle.
You know, take a snap of it when you go upstairs, and I'll put it at the end so they can kind of see what it is, because I do think their colors were lovely.
Oh, beautiful.
It was like a beautiful teal blue, I would say, a softer teal blue, and a creamy color. What was the third color? I'm forgetting. It's not gray.
No, I think it's green.
We'll show it. The picture.
I was just using it. How do I not remember?
I know, I was just up there too. But anyway, we'll show it, and if I can remember what pattern it is, I will link to the pattern.
Yes.
I'll give you a link for that in case they want to try it. It was something that was done for a Christmas gift, and it was doable for Christmas.
Yes. But you worked very hard on it.
That's true.
It was very appreciated.
That's true. But anyway, I loved, that was a very great segment.
Yes,
I
thank
loved Jamie. That was really fun. And I think it was really encouraging to see that you are a young person who has embraced knitting. Gives me hope in the future generations. La. I was pledging to some knitting flag somewhere.
I pledge allegiance to the knitting flag.
You know, someday we need to come up with a knitting flag, don't we?
We do.
Yeah.
Yes, for sure.
Well, that was fun.
That was.
And we will have another one. I will try very hard to remember to let the next person know.
Yeah.
I haven't looked to see who the next person is. I will check. And then I will put it on, I will message them.
Good plan.
And I will put a note, probably right about here, that says who the next person is. I had to look up to see where do I do that?
Yeah.
So we'll put it on the video and on the thread. I'll message people, let them know so they know who's next.
Excellent.
That was fun.
That was fun. Let's talk about what we're knitting.
Okay.
Would you like to go first?
No, because I've talked so much. How about your turn?
Okay. Can you talk for a second while I get to the end of the row?
Of course. Okay. So what I'm working on, first of all, I'm using a yarn, and I don't know what we call these. I got it on Etsy. If I can find who I got it from, I'll let you know. And it is a device that is meant to control a ball of yarn so it doesn't go running away. And let's see, I'm going off the wrong way. And basically you can see it's pulling off. I already unraveled some, so I just used this to wind it back on.
Now, do you wind it directly onto that?
No, I just skewered the ball.
Okay.
It works really good with yarn cakes that you get off of a ball winder.
Okay, I can see that.
But I was having trouble with it going, sliding down beside me, and then I'd have to pull really hard. And this just, even though it doesn't have anything special going on, it is really easy to wind off the yarn you need. And so this is the kind of situation. I'm working on a cowl right now, and another pattern I'm working on, and this is a yarn from Julie Spence.
Where's the case?
Evan's helping us out. This is being held in a Chicken Soup Designs bag, a lovely one that has a orange interior that I think is adorable. And the yarn is Julie Spence. And it's her carnation. And this is merino silk sock yarn. And let's see. Let me get a close-up of it here. Brianne's adjusting.
Sorry.
Do you need to plug in?
I do.
Okay, there's a plug beside you. Brianne's going to be plugging in. I have a charger that's by my bed.
Okay.
That's us home. We're running out of battery. Of course, recording is taking a lot more battery than normal. But here's the yarn itself, called Carnation, with the silk content. It's got lovely orange, which isn't showing up as much, but it's a very soft orange, and the purple and a lighter color. I'll get the hang of this, people. But I'm working on a pattern for a spring cowl, and you know me, if I weren't wearing a sweater today, I probably would have popped a cowl on too. But what I wanted to show you is, the reason why it's a spring cowl, if I can see if I'm doing this correctly, let me get closer, is because it is going to have these rows of puff stitch here, and then it has these bands of chain. Let's see if I can, oh man, I'm not good at this. Sorry, everybody. And so it's going to have a diagonal effect, and all of these open spaces here are really going to provide some ventilation for hot people. And I'm going to do it first in a variegated. I think it's going to really have some nice drape to it with the silk content, but also because of the open design. And I think it is going to be adorable for spring. I want it to hit right about here once it's blocked, so that it's not up close to your neck, but it's going to hang right about where my neckline is hanging. And it will be just a nice way to add a layer without adding too much heat. And so if I can get my pattern worked out, it's been a week of, I don't know how many versions I've done of this, trying to get it just right. And I probably will do, I have a beautiful grade fiber that Peggy did for me upon request, because I wanted just a simple gray sock yarn to do a project in, and I think the next one is going to be that, and I think it'll show the baubles better. But this was such a springy color, I had to try. You know, that's just the way I do things. So that is what is on my hook right now, and I'm really enjoying it. I am, excuse me, Huck had to be up here helping me at the same time. So I am using a size H hook. I was going to show you the hook, but I don't know what I did with it. It is my Etimo, which I really love. If you're into crocheting, you will love it. Can't show you. It has a cushion to it, Etimo, E-T-I-M-O. You can get them on Amazon. Karen also sells them. There's a plug right over here, sweetie. It's not gonna stretch. Okay. There's a plug right here.
It's not gonna stretch. It's too short.
Can you unplug the cord though? So we have to record. There's no choice. I'll show you something else while she's figuring out if she can get something working. Unplug the extension cord and try that. Isn't it nice of me to make her figure this out? So the other thing I've been doing, which I told you last time I was with you that I wanted to get into, which was rug hooking. I posted on Instagram already. This is done with wool scraps. Actually, probably not scraps. You can tell I'm a beginner because things like this, where it's a little bit taller than it should be, that's just my inexperience. My very first project is using strips of wool cloth that have been dyed. And this would have been a very traditional thing. Here, I got a spot on it. A very traditional thing for a family to do. In America, especially when they came over, they couldn't bring very much. And you would need to keep your floors warm, and you would have leftover bits of fabric from clothing and different items, and those fabrics would be repurposed into strips that were pulled up through a backing. I'm going to show you the back of mine, not because it's a wonderful example, but this backing is a monk cloth right here that has holes. Now burlap is kind of similar in structure in the fact that you can use burlap to pull loops through, but it is it's certainly rougher to deal with. It's not as long wearing from what I understand, but the concept is basically, if you look at the back, you can see that I have done rows of just pulling a loop through, and I'll go through the process more in a future podcast where I show you the equipment that I use and that kind of thing. But it is something I got finished up this week. I had actually done the rug hooking quite a long time ago, but I'd never got around to finishing it. Does that sound familiar? Not finishing something? But I finally got the backing finished, and this is now, I guess it would be, I put it on the corner of my little fun antique piece down here, and all of the dishes get stacked on it so it doesn't ruin the furniture. Your mom would say don't ruin your furniture. So it is basically a pot holder, or a hot pad maybe would be a better word. So I use it just so I don't ruin my furniture, but I actually use it because I think it's adorable. I have seen people use their rug hooked items for decorations on the wall, which are gorgeous. I love the primitive ones. So that's kind of what I want to explore in the future. So did we get plugged in?
No, not yet.
Okay.
I need to still
Poor Brie.
plug it in over here.
Sorry, sweetie.
That's okay.
We are almost there. I'll make sure, see if there's anything else I need to share. I do have more. And Brienne, this will be the Brienne show after this. Ooh. I finished raspberry cordial. Anybody who's been on Instagram has seen this so much that they probably wish I would stop sharing. But look how beautiful. I have not been able to get a good picture of it to show you what the whole thing looks like, because you can only show little bits at a time. But look at this.
Super cute.
Isn't that
the
fun?
colors are so vibrant.
They are. And I have been enjoying wearing it, so now I'm going to plop it on.
I think you should.
Okay. And the person who designed this pattern is somebody that I'm madly in love with.
Me?
No, we didn't design it.
Oh.
No, BZ Mama, the sampler girl,
Yes.
also known as Tanya Marie. And, you know, I've got to look back when she said how she likes to wear hers. I can show you how I'm wearing it. See if I can do it backwards. I'm enjoying wearing it like this.
Okay.
This is one of the ways I enjoy it. I also enjoy just wearing it as a contrast in thick and thin. I thought that was pretty fun.
Yeah.
And I don't know how many other fancy ways I've worn it. You can also do both tails around the back and just have this in front. Isn't that fun though?
It is.
It actually doesn't look bad at all with this.
No, it looks great.
Yeah, except for a little hot. But I was so excited to finally get this off the needles. I've worn it to death already. As you can see, it already looks kind of worn in.
Yeah.
I love my yarn though.
What was your yarn choice again?
Shepherd's wool. I have a link to it in
that's
there,
right.
but it's not like Lorna's Laces. It's,
Right.
It's another mill that does just a very soft wool, and I think it has great stitch definition. I would definitely use it again.
Wonderful.
But the only thing I found is they didn't have too many natural colors, which is what I was really hoping for, to find one. She had this beautiful oatmeal one
Yeah.
that had an accent color, and I really wanted to copy her completely. But this was my submission for Marches for Matching.
Yay.
Right?
Yes. That's wonderful.
Thank you. I
Yay.
finished. I wonder if anybody else has finished. I need to check.
We have had some people who have finished.
Have we?
Mhm.
Okay. Let me move Hucky for you.
Oh, thank you.
Would you like to sit on
I
the
did.
couch?
Thank you very much. It was like, you know, very tenuous there on with the booty situation on the
Yeah.
couch.
This poor Brianne's had to rewire the whole house down here. She's going to have her degree.
I am.
We have a little laggy. I hope that's not the actual camera.
Uh-oh.
You get to experiment with us here.
Oh,
But
gosh.
I'm guessing it's probably just Wi-Fi that's doing that for us, so we're not going to worry about it.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So what I have been working on this week, first thing I've been working on are my Tickety Boo for You socks.
Oh, I love them.
And look at how, I showed you last week how they're striping up, but it's continued and it's so much fun.
Really cute.
And I'm at the point now where I'm going to start a heel, which I'm not quite sure. I haven't decided yet which heel I'm going to use. So yes, so there's that.
Those are adorable.
Yes, and this is out of the Loopy You Solid series, or their seasoning series.
Thanks for taking care of that,
Yeah,
by the way.
you're welcome.
That was really sweet of you.
No problem. The Loopy You seasoning series. And this is the Tickety Boo colorway, and this is an 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon, and it's recommended for size needles 0 to 3, and I'm using a size 0, and I think I really like the fabric that it's producing. I think it's going to wear really well.
Oh my goodness, I really like it, but it's not rough in any way.
No,
it's very
not at all.
smooth.
No. And
I would love to try one of those sock yarns. That's
yeah,
neat.
it's a very generous put up too, because you end up, you have the mini skein, which is 100 yards, and the main skein is 435 yards.
Oh wow.
So you really, you're gonna have some good leftovers coming out of this.
Yay!
Which is gonna be very exciting for you.
It is.
Also, another smaller project I've been working on and that Mom helped me work on was the sock head hat.
Oh.
And at our meetup, Mom forgot her knitting. Well,
Yes.
you had knitting, but you were like right at a point where you were gonna have to do a heel. And so this got some distance put on it.
It actually made me want to knit a sock head hat now.
Did it really?
Mhm.
Well, didn't you say that you would knit the stockinette part if I knit the ribbing?
Right.
That's a deal.
Do you want to do that?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we can trade services.
Because to me, the ribbing goes by so fast, and then the stockinette part, I'm like, why is this taking so long?
No, I would love to do that.
Well, pick out a yarn.
Yay.
And so, yes.
And should we take a break and talk really quickly about the meetup?
Well, I have that under It's a Good Thing.
We're going to do a good thing?
Yes.
Okay.
So
that's
we'll do that with that.
I haven't looked ahead. It's with that. Totally not together today.
Here is my featherweight cardigan that I've been working on. Why is it? It says 10% battery now. And I have it plugged in. I wonder what's going on with that.
I know a lot of times they don't like being plugged into an extension cord.
Okay. Well, we'll have to be quick.
We'll do the best we can.
All right. Hold on. Let's do this. Sorry, you get to see my shirt again. All right. So, here we have my featherweight. You will notice that I have 2 sleeves. Hello, sleeves. I've got sleeve number 1 and, hold on, sleeve number 2, and
I love it.
I ripped out the bottom edge and immediately put it back on the needle so I could add some length to it because I'm
You need
crazy.
to scooch in close to me so you don't get off screen. Too.
Okay, so because I'm crazy, apparently I just decided I really wanted to have a sweater that I was really happy with, and I was not going to be happy with the length that it was. So
how much did you decide to add?
I'm going to add an extra probably 4 inches. So a pretty good amount. But I needed to do that before I could do the collar and the button band. It doesn't have buttons, but you know what I mean. It's like the, the collar wraparound thing. Edging. Edging! There's the word! So that's that. And I got to work on that this week, which I was really glad to get the sleeves done.
You got the sleeves done.
Sleeves are done.
Wow, good for you.
So we like that.
Well, that's the slogging part for sure.
It really does feel like that.
Yeah.
So, and then the last thing that I want to show you that I've been working on is my Ishbel. Last week I told you that I was thinking about making the Ishbel even bigger than the larger size was going to be, and I did decide to do that. So instead of doing 2 repeats of charts A and B, I'm going to be doing 4 repeats of charts A and B. And
very pretty.
This is what it looks like.
I think our colors are turning out so accurate.
I know.
Isn't it wonderful?
I'm so in love with it. And look, you can really see the pattern really well.
Gorgeous. I can't think of the use you'll get out of that.
I think it's going to be great.
Yeah.
Especially with it being bigger, I can really cuddle up in it. So I'm super excited. I have 1 more chart repeat of A and B to go. Actually, I think I'm halfway through A. And then it'll just be the edging, which are charts C, D, and E. So, which that's not a whole lot.
I'm so impressed.
Thank
All
you.
the charts. 1 chart I can't hardly manage, so.
Well, you know, they're not difficult.
Someday. I think I'm just going to have to keep giving it a try.
Yes.
And eventually maybe I'll get it.
Yes.
I mean, I did the raspberry cordial. It wasn't charted, but it was lace.
Yeah, and so I think you can do it.
And my brain didn't explode.
It didn't. You're amazing.
Thanks.
Yeah.
What else? What do we have
Let's
going?
go to gilding the lily. We didn't really gild the lily. Somebody gilded the lily for us.
We had our lilies gilded. That almost sounds naughty,
That
so we're not
does.
going to use that expression. But I'm going to show you mine first.
Okay.
Do you want? I'm going to show. How about I'll show, and then you can explain where these came from.
Okay.
Okay. This, first of all, does this not look like me with the reds and the oranges and the golden colors and the blue? I just love it. But look on the other side. What?
Oh my goodness.
See-through. Does anyone else have trouble forgetting which bag something's in? Yeah. And so, I don't know if you can tell, but punched needle supplies are in here. But I decided not that my, I want to get a hook. I want to get a hoop.
Okay.
I'll get a hoop that fits in this bag, so this can be my punch needle bag.
That's a great idea.
And punch needle, if you don't know, is equivalent to rug hooking. It's like rug hooking's baby sister.
Okay.
And so you're using threads, and in this case you can see I have some Valdani threads, but you can also use embroidery floss, or you can use yarn, which was fascinating to me.
Yeah.
So that is one of the things I'm going to be trying in the next few weeks. I may even bring it when I go to visit Peggy at 100th Sheep, which is just a few weeks away now, where I get to go and learn more about dyeing, help her at the Fiber Fest.
That's exciting.
And so that is very exciting. But I love this bag, and we got it just because someone is very sweet that came to our meetup.
This is the one that I picked out. And these bags are so cute. Here's the other side.
Isn't it? And she had a lot of fabrics.
She did. The she that we're talking about is Sherry, who is Sherry Knits on Ravelry, and Sherry Knits at Etsy. That's the name of her store, sherryknits.etsy.com. So I'll hold this up so you can see.
She came down from Kansas City.
Oh my goodness.
And she was sweet enough to give us the chance to give her a ride.
Yes.
And she has been knitting since she was a little girl. And so this woman is very talented.
Yes.
She also sews, obviously.
Right.
And she gifted us with these bags, and I really think she's trying to decide if she wants to sell them.
And my vote is yes.
Yes, definitely she needs to sell them. So I think when we link to her, I don't know if she actually has them in her Etsy shop, but I think you should definitely contact her because they are really fun bags.
Yes.
And they don't take up a lot of room.
No.
And there are 2 different sizes. Mine was larger. Should you hold yours up? So in case they want to purchase one, they can see the difference in sizes.
Now mine doesn't have anything in it, so it's going to
Yes.
look bigger than it actually is.
So mine is a little taller, a little wider. I'll
Right.
put mine behind yours.
Okay.
Will that work? Not really.
No.
Because mine's got stuff in it. I'm sorry,
Right.
I used mine.
I was saving mine.
But I had stuff scattered all over. I decided to gather all my supplies in one
Yes.
place. So they're definitely a big hit. Did you gild the lily with anything else?
I did not.
Okay.
No.
So do we have time to talk about our meetup?
I think, let's just say, it was fabulous and amazing.
Yeah.
And we had the best time.
I was a little apprehensive, to be perfectly honest, because I wasn't sure. You know, it's like a little nerve-wracking, like, are they going to be disappointed? You know, it's
Yeah.
like, because we're in real life, we can't edit ourselves.
Right.
But everyone was super nice, and
Everybody was.
it was like, if I didn't have to go home, I would have loved to have stayed longer.
Definitely.
But
you
people
know,
were really sweet. It was fun. We knitted together.
and I don't think that anybody felt the need to have to stay for any longer than they wanted to.
I don't
Which
think
was
so.
really great.
Yeah, and
You
there
know,
were
people had to
People that
leave.
came and go. Yeah.
People had to leave, and some people came later, and some people, you know, had to leave a little bit earlier, and that was totally okay with us.
Yes.
So,
And we changed the location to Einstein Bagel to allow for more people because I was expecting 3 or less.
yeah.
And we ended up having a total, I think we decided, of 11, including us.
Right.
Which is a nice sized group. And several people were not able to come that we had been hoping to come.
Yeah.
And so I'm like so excited. We talked about several things that are really exciting for group.
Yes.
Which is if you're in the Springfield, Branson, Arkansas, Kansas area, we hope to do another one.
Mm-hmm.
And we're thinking like 3 or 4 times a year-ish.
Right.
And we are going to go ahead and set a date for that, and we'll let everybody know when the time comes.
Yes.
So that those that are able to come can,
Yeah.
which will be very fun.
Yes.
We also decided that in June, so you can be thinking ahead, we are going to do a charity along.
Right.
We'll give it some, I don't know if it will be called a charity along.
We'll figure out what we want to call it.
But we are going to, as a group, we decided we really want to be part of that spirit of the knitter that is all about being generous and about giving to others. And so we have at the group, we had, I'm going to forget her name.
Haley.
We had Haley there, and she is a young woman who is a nurse. We had several nurses there, but
did.
this particular one, she works in NICU. No, is it NICU or NICU, which is the intensive care unit for children or babies.
Neonatal.
And she says that she knits hats for their floor,
For their babies.
department, for their babies. Yeah, then the hats floors don't wear hats.
They don't.
But I thought, oh my goodness, how fun to know somebody and to be able to get those hats to the person who works in that department so that they can be used by those babies.
Yes.
And we also have several organizations represented in the Springfield group that are one is for advocating pregnancy. This is not everybody's for that, but that's okay. We, whatever charity that you love, in helping moms to we have as a family benefited from organizations that help fund milk for kids, food for kids, right? We have as a family benefited from those things.
Right.
And as a family, when you are in need, it is wonderful to have that help. And there are lots of mamas that a hat would make a big difference, right?
Absolutely. Well, and also animal things, and
That's right.
That's right.
And we will include during that time period any of you who watch Wolf Farms. Sweetie,
Evan.
it's not your turn, buddy.
Go on
Sorry.
upstairs. Thank you.
But you're right, Wolf Farms, they do blankets for the dogs.
Yes.
And so whatever you advocate for in your life.
But we'll talk about that more in June, or as it gets closer.
I was really excited, though, to think that we will be able to expand our alongs to include things that, whatever you're passionate about in your life, and have your knitting be a blessing in that area.
Absolutely.
And everybody's got some area they're passionate about, don't you think?
Definitely. Yeah.
Yes, nose cozies. If you're passionate about nose cozies, charity nose cozies all the way.
That's right. Let's talk about our contest really quick before my phone dies. Shall we? You have your Handy Hearts contest going on.
Lots more entries in there. I could
Yes.
see more. $20 Etsy gift card will be given away by a random drawing at the end of March. So you still have time to make a handy heart, which can be done in the evening.
That's right. We also have our Marches for Matching knit along, which Mom finished hers, and I'm almost done with mine. And you can look at the group and the Marches for Matching contest thread on Ravelry and see all the rules for that and see everybody's entries. Lots of people have finished stuff, and I'm just excited about that.
Yes. My sister Holly did a matching. She doesn't do any fiber arts.
Yeah.
But she sent me a picture of her with her hair done.
Yeah.
Like Molly from Mahone's Fun House, because I matched her.
Yes.
So she matched me, matching
I love
Molly.
it.
Yeah.
I love it. And then the next one that we're going to be doing is Anti-Procrastination April, which is where we decide that we're not going to procrastinate any longer. We are going to finish, or we're going to learn, or we are going to use things that we have been putting off using.
I like you trying to figure out how you're going to describe this all-inclusive category for doing something that you've been putting off doing. How about that?
There you go.
Okay.
That's right. And so I'm excited about that one because I'm going to be knitting a shawl that I've wanted to knit since 2011.
I've been procrastinating really deciding what I'm going to do.
Well, that's good.
I'm going into April with the full procrastination mode as I'm trying to decide what not to procrastinate on.
Someone decided they're not going to procrastinate on putting their stash into Ravelry, which I thought
that's a great one.
Genius.
Yeah.
That's a great idea.
That is great.
So lots of ideas out there. But I think that's it.
Very fun.
Yes.
Well, we made it. High fives.
All right. Thank you so much for being with us today. Thank you for being patient with us as we try out this new setup and location and technology and all of that.
Let's have some feedback. I'm hoping it makes a difference. It sure looks better to us.
It does. So hopefully it looks better to you too. Tell us.
Yes.
And so until next time, just remember that you are knitworthy. Bye.
Bye, y'all.